So were you a Patriot fan in Jersey? Or
So here's the great story, and people
Please.
have asked me, they're very confused because of my Jersey
Yes.
roots. Bill Belichick and I go back some 34, 35 years when he, Charlie Weiss, Bill Parcells, who allowed me to come to practices back in the 80s, because I was always so respectful and stayed out of the way and took that long hair and put it in a cap and was the water boy or the guy holding the plastic dish on the sidelines.
Yeah.
I mean, when the Giants won that Super Bowl against Buffalo, you could see it on NFL films. Guys were actually wearing T-shirts that I had made up that were Bon Jovi shirts, because this is a day and age before compression gear and all this stuff. They were wearing T-shirts under their uniforms. And they were Bon Jovi shirts that I had made up for the Super Bowl. So I literally was the mascot. And so wherever any of them went, I went. And then by 96, I met Mr. Kraft. They lost that Super Bowl to Green Bay. And there's this great, history of Belichick and I on Saturday afternoon going and grabbing a drink on the walk back to the hotel. The Super Bowl was different in 96 than in 2024.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit, right?
Yeah.
And so we literally in New Orleans could go and grab one of those big sugary drinks and be half buzzed on Saturday afternoon before a Super Bowl. That's sort of where my relationships were. My son played, he was a walk-on at Notre Dame because Charlie Weiss introduced us to Notre Dame. Wherever Parcells went, we would go check it out, except for when he was at the Cowboys, which I left, as soon as I visited.
Understandable.
Yeah, we have issues in New Jersey with Cowboys.
It's understandable.
But the Patriots, on the other hand, I just fell in love with the Patriot way and the idea that our friend was going to be the head coach, and that relationship is built and built. I was with Matty Patricia last night.
Is that right?
Yeah, he's here with me.
Well, I mean, Belichick is as brilliant as they come.
Yes.
And I've been there listening to him talk football. I've been on the queue of him being the A talking football.
Yeah.
And I have been just a fly on the wall watching him talk football with other people.
Right.
What is it like him talking music?
Well, he is a music fan. I mean, most people in the world would never know that he was a closeted drummer. We bought him a drum kit years and years ago. Or that he would, come to Europe on the road with us where nobody would pay attention to him being there. So he likes music.
He loves it,
but
right?
he likes being around it, which was cool. And
does he pick your brain when he,
no,
okay.
not in that way. I mean, he's just a fan of the music. I think it's foreign to him, but the thing that everyone knows of his character publicly is not the same guy privately. He's just an incredibly engaging, warm family guy. I've spent time with him at his home and him at my home. I mean, we're really good friends. So this whole brouhaha with the dynasty was jarring, because it's even, in my perception, different from the book, which the book I read cover to cover.
You're talking about the documentary that just came out?
The documentary, The Dynasty,
Right.
and the book I thought was incredible in a timeline of everything that had happened, and I thought it was a page turner. I couldn't put it down, and I mentioned it plenty of times, and I sat for hours of interviews for the docuseries, and it wasn't the same guy that I know. I think he deserves more credit, because it was the three of them as far as, the outside viewer looking in.
There's no doubt. I think what that documentary definitely did show is that when Brady was just a kid, and Bledsoe was the man.
You bet.
That there were a couple times where Belichick had to just stand his ground. Everything for me goes back to the movie Hoosiers, because that's my favorite sports movie.
Yeah.
Right. So you remember the scene where I've just got 4 on the floor.
Yeah.
That's my 4 on the floor. And the crowd and the fans are howling against Coach Dale. And Gene Hackman waves his, leather satchel with his game plan at them. Like, this is what I believe in.
David Anspaugh, the director, is
brilliant, right?
Yep.
So Belichick did that a couple times. And
yes, he did.
And so when people are like, well, he just rolled the footballs out with Brady, you're missing a huge point about all this. And I think that, and Brady was a perfect extension of Belichick's mindset.
Tommy is one in a billion, not a million. Tommy is the unicorn.
Because he also, maybe just from his Michigan experience, I don't know, everybody needs a little bit of love and a hug. He could respect the tough love and the tough coaching.
That's hard.
You know what I mean?
That's hard, and that's Tom, and maybe that's his family upbringing, and his mom and dad. I don't know why or how he kept his ego so in check, but the sacrifices that Tommy made for team, pay cuts, team first, all the keeping their mouths shut the Patriot way, all of those things. It to me, 1-1-1 made a dynasty.
Yeah, it made 6.
It made for 20 years.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.